Welcome to the Become the Best You podcast, where we discuss everything personal development and listen to real life relatable stories from individuals that are on a mission to become their best self. So this week on the podcast, I've asked my girlfriend to jump in because someone let me down last minute, and I asked her and she said yes, and we just come here unprepared, unplanned, and I said let's just have a conversation. So welcome Cathereen to start. Now with some of my guests, what I love to do is take us back through your journey. Cath runs her own lash business. She's a lash trainer, lash educator, and I think it would be good just to dive in and give the audience just a little bit of an insight into where you started when it comes to building your business, and then we can dive into whatever else wherever we go, right? So talk about your business to begin with. Okay. So you obviously weren't always a lash trainer, a lash teacher, and didn't run your business. How did it begin?
So I actually was working in retail from like 16 to I think I was 22. And to be honest with you, I just was one of those people that was never going to try and go to the next level, because I always wanted to be like a personal shopper. But I feel like the people that I was going up against, I just never had the confidence to do that. You know, I just had so low self-esteem. So to be honest, from 16 to 22, I was always at the same level and I never tried to get any higher. Anyway, I got in a really crap situation with, you know, an XX, and
we won't go there.
Yeah, let's not go there. No details. But I ended up having to go to court, and so I got sacked by my retail job. And I remember sitting outside the office knowing that I was going to get sacked because of this court case that I had. And the fear that was like going through my whole body, because I thought, what am I going to do? Like, where am I going to work? I need money. I've got no one to rely on. So then I thought, my friend who works with me now, Becca, started, she was lashing and she was younger than me and she was doing so well. And then she actually got me into doing a lash course. And I thought, do you know what? I've just got to put everything into this, because I had a court case that was going to be in 6 months' time. Nowhere was going to take me. Like, where am I going to get a job when I've got a court case that I have to be off for however long? So, yeah, I did the lash course and I thought, I'm just going to give my all. So I did. And then, to be honest with you, it actually did so well. Like, in 6 months, I got super busy. Like, there was so many times where I felt like this isn't the right path for me. But I think that's because that's what happens when you start anything, right?
Mm. And that first 6 months, what do you feel like got you so busy in that first 6 months?
Okay, so the first thing was I had no choice. I had to make money. So there was no like, try something else. It was, you need to make money and this is what you can do. So I did the course. I did get a part-time job in a gym, which I just worked at reception because I needed something. Because when you start a business, as anyone knows, you're not going to get a great amount of money at the beginning. So what I did, I worked at that gym, and then I just got as many clients as I could. At the beginning, I had to do a lot of free people. What else did I do?
How did you get all them clients to begin with? Was it starting at free, or was it through social media? Was it word of mouth? So
at first it was a lot of friends and family. And then I started to do friends of friends, and then I always did Instagram, but I feel like Instagram was a little bit different to how it is now. I feel like you could just do a post and then someone else will do a post, and then like you'll just get so many followers and so many clients. But I think it's a bit different now. Now it's not as easy as that. TikTok is though. So yeah, so I feel like all my clients come through word of mouth, which is so important, and Instagram.
How long did it take you to get to a point where you was earning enough money where you didn't have to do the gym on the side and you was just full-time lashing?
Do you know what? I actually think this is quite good. It was 6 months. 6 months, but that I was reading The Secret. You know we love The Secret. So, yeah, I was reading The Secret and I did all the practices that it said, and I just kept visualising like you know, these influencers that are going to like message me. I did message some and they ignored me, but they ended up messaging me in the end.
But that's a good thing that you was putting it out there anyway.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to that, some people might get the misconception that I was reading The Secret and you just got to sit there and think about it.
You know that I can be like that.
And I think you can be like that sometimes. Where I'm like, you've got to visualize it, but you've also got to put in the practice.
Yeah.
But I feel like you putting in the practice and actually messaging influence and stuff, and it was the same for me when I was personal training. Like I remember sending a few influencers and people just like, I remember Arj before I actually signed him up. I sent him a message about how I can help him about 50 times. And then we was coming out when I was coming out the flat, I see him and I was like, do you need training? He was like, yeah. And then we went on that, then we started working together and training. So I feel like it's having the intention, but then backing it with action, right? Actually,
100%.
Even if you don't get a reply, you're putting it out there that you want the things that you're going for.
I think that's where maybe like some people can go wrong with the manifesting thing. They might like think, right, I'm going to message this influencer and I'm going to really think about it and visualize it, and if that person doesn't get back to you, people think, oh well, this doesn't work, right?
For sure.
But I think when you've got an intention of that kind of person, say whoever it is, you might get someone else that's like that, but even in a different way, not in the way that you tried to get it. Yeah,
it's not always what you want or what you think that you should have. It can come in a different way.
What do they say? God has a better plan for you than what you think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so it took you 6 months to actually build the business up, and then you went full time. You went full time into lashing. And how long you been lashing from that moment till now?
So I'm like 30 now. So I have been lashing for about 7 years. No, wait, how old am I? 8 years.
I hope you're not loud about your age.
No, I've been lashing for 8 years, but when I say lashing, not really lashing. I've had the lash business for about 8 years. So the first couple of years is really just like getting me to get the client, not really doing it or thinking about anything else apart from building up a client base. And then I went on to, it was when I met you, wasn't it? When I did lash training.
Yeah. Diving back there though, what are 3 things that you feel like are needed to build a successful lashing business or keep a good client base? Because I know that you've got a great client base. I know that a lot of people highly recommend you. A lot of your stuff, from Instagram, but a lot of word of mouth. And it's been like that for a very long time, right? What do you feel like are 3 things that has enabled it to get that good of a reputation? Because I think reputation's everything, and I'm like the same now with my coaching. I care more about the client than I care about the money that they're giving me, because I want to make sure that when they're finished with me, they've got a good word to say about me. And I feel like that's the same with your business. So
I think I'm the same.
Yeah, what are some things that you feel like are needed to build a successful, like if you're talking back to your younger self that's just even starting this lash business and they want to make something of it, what's some advice you'd give them, that person that you wish that you knew that you do know now?
So I think when starting a lash business, not even just a lash business, anything, I think it's like it's always thinking about the long term. I think that the issue is now, so many people are promoting, do this business, and it's going to make you this. And I mean, I have been guilty of doing that. But what I will say is it's enjoying what you're doing, even when you're at the beginning and you're not earning money. If you think, I've got to do this model for free because I've just started my lash business, and then you're thinking, oh, well, I've done that and I've wasted 4 hours because that is how long it could take, and then you're not getting a return on it, of what's it called?
Money return.
Money in the return at that moment. Many people fail then because they think, well, I'm not getting anything in return. So I think it's enjoying doing it. I enjoyed doing lashes.
What made you passionate about it though?
Do you know what? I actually love working with women.
Okay.
Talking to women all day. It's actually so fun. Hearing so many different life stories from young to older ladies. it's just been great.
I think that's good to find something that you enjoy doing inside of the thing. So you might actually lashing, but you said that you actually enjoy like me, for example, coaching. I wouldn't say that I love coaching, but I love teaching and educating people.
Yeah.
So when I'm coaching, that's what I get from it. I get to teach and I get to educate and change lives, which I love doing. So sometimes it's not just the thing that you may love, but things inside of the thing. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
you might not actually love, unless you do just love the actual putting the lashes together, unless you love the end product too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes it's a long process, so
Sure.
there's times that it's like, oh, you know, this is long. However, I think you get the clients. I feel like I can always gauge what kind of clients I'm going to get. You get the clients that just want to sleep. I just know when they're tired and they want a nap, so I don't say anything. But that's fine because my head's just like thinking about so much things. And then you get the clients that I feel like they tell you things that they don't tell anybody else. Like I've had clients.
What are some of those things?
I cannot say. But you know, I've had some clients, they've told me, I'm the first person they've like told when they're pregnant or when they're engaged or having children, or even like sad things that like they may have lost a baby or, you know, things like that. So I feel like lashes is not just about lashing. It's like really getting to know and understand the client and like really just understanding women. I think it's made me have more like empathy for people because I think everyone is actually going through something, right? Even though it doesn't look like that. Some people have perfect lives, but everyone is going through something, and it's made me really see that like we need to be more empathetic to people.
So what's a couple of pieces of advice that you'd give to your younger self when it comes to building a lash business, or things that you wish that you knew?
Things that I wish that I knew.
Or how you build a successful business, how you keep it running for so long.
Or like lessons that I've learned.
Yeah, lessons that you've learned, or how you or like how you've built your reputation to where it is now.
Right. I think to have a successful lash business, you need to have the passion and the drive to actually want to make it, you know, something. I think without that, you'll maybe stop when there's obstacles.
Yeah.
So I think, like for me, I knew what I wanted, like where I wanted to go. I knew how many clients I wanted. I knew that I wanted to do it full time. So I had that vision. But like on the way there was so many like obstacles that I had to like overcome, you know, like there would be a week where I'd get like no messages from many clients. And then I'd think, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Then I thought I'm going to work in a sunbed shop because I was just thinking of anything, you know?
Yeah, and that kind of ties into what you said a minute ago. Do you feel like having the long vision, the long goal, enables you to push through them harder times when it doesn't seem like anything
100%.
is going on? Yeah, because like tying back to kind of like what you said is like when it's not going your way, or when it looks like it's not paying off, or you're not getting a return on investment, that I think the easy thing for people to do is go, oh no, it's the next thing that I need to do to earn money.
Yeah.
But anything that you're going to do is going to take a little bit of fucking time, right?
Yeah.
And do you feel like at that start, because you had a little bit more of a goal in place and a vision for it, that it was like, okay, it's quiet now, but I'm going to keep doing what it is that I'm doing?
Yeah. I always think like having that goal, I mean, like it can be overwhelming. And I think some people think, well, I don't know what I want exactly. For me, I did know what I wanted. I didn't know how it was going to look, but I had no other option really. Like I just had to do it. But I think when you do want something, I think the main thing is to know that there will be times that you will be tested, whether you really want it or not. Because there's going to be weeks where things aren't going as good, or something happens like to your family where you have to take time out. And I feel like these are little tests whether you're going to keep going to reach your goal, right?
Definitely. And after you not stopped lashing, but you stopped lashing for a little while, and then you went to start doing your teaching. What do you feel like that transition was like for yourself?
Yeah, because remember I started teaching and then I thought, do you know what? This is where I actually went wrong. I thought I'm just going to throw myself into teaching because it makes more money, right? But I realised when I did that, it was actually a mistake because I missed doing my clients. I missed that because it wasn't just the lashing that I enjoyed. It was the the client interaction and like speaking to people, and then like the creative side with like making like lovely eyelashes for people, you know. I missed that when I just taught. But then I like doing both because teaching gives me another like sense of fulfillment, like being able to help people that were in my situation is just like the best feeling.
Do you feel like it was scary going from being a lash tech to a lash teacher? I love knowing these things because I think every part of the journey and transition is quite scary and overwhelming in some sort of way, you know what I mean? And I think some people would like to think they would want to do that next step, or they do want to do that next step, but actually to take that jump is a scary thing to do. You know what I mean? Was you scared? Was you fearful when you took that jump?
Yeah, well, remember I did my first lash course. And I went out and got new boots and new leggings. You bought them, half of them boots, remember?
Yeah, I think so.
And like, I remember I was just like shaking, even though like I had 3 students that I already knew. But I think it's just scary because it's out of the comfort zone, right? And then it's like all these like limiting beliefs come up again, that because I was so comfortable with lashes. And then I was tested again and challenged again, like, can I teach? And then you think, am I good enough? But it's crazy because I was doing lashes for so long. Obviously, I'm going to be able to teach this, but I still didn't feel like I was going to be that good, you know?
It's just doing it in a different way.
It's doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
And people are spending money to be trained by me. It has to be great, you know?
Yeah, definitely. But and also with when it comes to your lashes as well, I want to just touch on one point that we might have missed.
Yeah.
How important is it to have a good product or a good lash? Like, and how did you get to the point where you was as good as what you was, or good as what you are to doing them? Because I know you get loads of compliments all the time. I know you get messages like people want you to teach them how to do it and things like that. How does someone get to that point of they're actually got a good product? Because I don't feel like you can build a successful business or anything if what you're selling potentially is no good.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I think when it comes to like having a good product or service or whatever, it's not just doing, say if you do a training course, or like for me, I did one lash course. It's not stopping there. It's like evolving with the times. Like I'm like 8 years down the line, I can't tell you how many types of lashes I've done. Trends never stay the same. So it's it's constantly learning and growing, and not just thinking that you know it all. Because where I was so busy, you would have thought like, I did have a bit of that ego at the beginning, like I know it all, but like I don't. When things change, it's good to like learn from other people who are better in that industry, you know?
Yeah, that's so important. I feel like being open-minded to what
100%.
what you don't know.
And I think like 8 years down the line, I just think I still would learn from someone else, you know? Because I don't know it all. And times do change, and I need to change, you know?
You should take that advice when it comes to us.
You're such a dick.
There's
been so many changes with us. Like, I can't.
Now let's tie into like what has it been like being a mother? Like and like I love to tie it I love to tie it in with like your work first, you know what I mean? Because what has it been like? One, you know, you have your own business, you're very busy, and then you've got a you've put your life on hold essentially to look after Cleo, to look after yourself. How would you feel like that transition's been, just becoming a mother in general, but like tying it into your work?
Yeah. So to be really honest, the first word that comes to my mind is hard. And yeah, I do find it's very, let's change it, challenging. Not only like I've given birth to this human being, I feel like I'm still now rebirthing myself, you know. I was so like, I got myself, or you know, into such a good place of like, you know, doing the things that make me truly happy, like waking up early, eating clean, meditating, and really like connecting deeper spiritually. And I need like meditation in that practice, right? So I think then becoming a mother, that routine is out the window. And like, I was just so lost, right?
Do you feel like you had to adopt a new identity, or are adopting a new identity, or have to let go of a certain identity?
Yeah, still, it's like still like happening, right? I think it took a while for me to realise that I had to actually let go of like the old me kind of thing. Not completely, but I need to now like change into like this new person with this baby, because I feel like it's really important to prioritise me, but obviously I have to prioritise Cleo too. And you as well.
What are some things that you wish that you knew at the start, now looking back in hindsight, that you wish you give advice to yourself? Like just when Cleo was born, you had to put a business on hold, you had to do all this. Like now looking back, is there any lessons that you wish that you knew or you could teach yourself?
God, there's so many lessons. I would say be a bit more easier on us, like myself. Just be a bit more kinder to myself. Like I didn't need to. I think the issue that I had is I wanted to be the perfect mum, the perfect business owner, the perfect girlfriend, like perfect everything, which is my problem. But it's just so not achievable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just doing your best every day. I think for us though, like our situation was slightly harder at the beginning, right? It wasn't like, I suppose, the normal situation where someone might be on maternity leave and they were getting paid. Like, we were stressed.
Yeah, we were stressed.
We were fucking stressed. Remember, like, the day after I gave birth? Not the day after. No. I gave birth. Then we come home, like, 2 days later, and then you had to work all day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, and how did you feel? Stressed.
It's just what it is. No, but I think at the time, because obviously I was going through a challenging period as well. You wasn't working, you wasn't getting an income, you was on maternity before Cleo come. My business wasn't where it was meant to be. There was no income coming in. I had loads of debt on my shoulders, and I wasn't earning money or anything like that. So I felt like it felt selfish to me to work. But it also felt selfish for me not to work because there wouldn't have been no money earned. Do you know what I mean?
Say, when it comes to like, when you asked me that question of like the lessons I learned at the beginning, there was lessons, but I do feel like when I look back now, we did our best like at the time, you know? There was obviously lessons, but I feel like we were fighting the same cause.
Yeah, we was fighting the same cause.
Each other.
We was fighting against each other, but fighting. But it's weird though, and it's funny because before Cleo come, we never ever argued. We never had no problems. We weren't like.
Jack, we were so chill.
Yeah, we were so chill. We weren't no problems.
Lived our little lives, like meditating.
There weren't no problem. There weren't no problem at all. And then obviously Cleo come, and it wasn't her that caused the issues, but I think there was issues and challenges because we was both fighting the same mission, but we was both
not
seeing it differently. Like what I just said. Yes, I felt selfish that I was working to use because I should have been there helping you with Cleo more, but then I felt selfish if I didn't work because you wasn't earning no money. That meant I wasn't earning no money, and that meant we had no money. So it was like, in my head, it meant you need to work more now. And you probably thought I need to work less and help yous out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it was all for the same thing. It was still to take care of the family, whether it was me working or not working. You was just seeing it in one way and I see it another way. And I think that's the good thing, was that where we're both open-minded and the fact that we went and spoke to someone about it and we done therapy, she helped us realise that same thing. Because I think a lot of people going through that time, and look, if I wasn't open-minded, if I wasn't the type of person that would go to therapy or even look at it at a different lens, you could potentially have even split up. Like, I don't think it was that bad, but I'm saying I could see why people would split up or be like, fucking no.
I can see why people would split up, because it's so tough, because it's like you're doing your own thing before baby, and then when baby comes, it's like, I need you and you needed me, and it's like we need to look after her. So it's like this whole new world. But I can really understand why couples fight and couples split up. But I think what's good is, like, you did suggest the therapy, and I think I actually really appreciate that, by the way. Because
But
we
then
probably might have not been together.
no, of course. And the other thing is as well, like what you're saying, you wanted to use to do all of these things that made you feel great, waking up in the morning, going to the gym, meditating, all that. You wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And then I was still doing that. Even when people
I
were
was so pissed at you. I was so pissed.
even when people were telling me that, you know, you're not going to be doing all them things, I wasn't sleeping in the night, and I'd still wake up on time and go to the gym and do whatever I need to do. But I felt like I needed to do them because I needed to show up for myself. If I'm showing up for myself, then I'm going to show up for everyone else around me. You know what I mean? But then in your lens, you're probably thinking, "Fucking hell, he's still going to do all of this stuff. We've got a baby to do here." So it's just good when you. I
think what's good now is like we both understand each other's values, what we value like individually. And like now, I mean, it has taken time, but like we've created a routine where I can do things that I value, you do things you value, and then come together as a family.
Yeah, and it's still a struggle.
It's still, you know what? It's so true. It is still a struggle.
Yeah, it's still a struggle. I think it was even the other day. I knew it was Friday. It was on Friday. I knew I wanted to study, but I knew you was ill, and I knew I wanted to go to the gym. That was it. I'd done my studying, and I knew I wanted to head to the gym, but I knew Cleo was going to wake up, and I know you felt ill. So I thought, should I just go to the gym and don't say anything? But it's going to cause a problem.
I would have been fuming.
But I come upstairs and said, "Did you need me to look after Cleo?" In the hope she'd be like, "No, it's all right. You go, Jim." He's like, "No, you need to look after her."
Us women, I actually wish there was one day that you were so ill and you had to look after.
No, but I get it now. Do you know what I mean? But I get it because it's just the way that I am, and I know sometimes it can be hard. Probably that I'm obsessed and I'm focused with doing my stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not even on a point of being selfish about it. I just know when I don't do it, something is going to wind me up to say that you've not done these things that you know that you've set out or want to do. So it potentially then puts me in a bad mood. But it's a lot of work that I've done on myself to try and overcome them things and create. And that's what I say to my clients: just create and understand that life happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Meaning life is
flow with life. And that situation, whatever situation arises. Yes,
rather than trying to like control it, have the structure and everything, but also life happens too, where things are gonna shake it up a little bit, and you got to allow them. You got to allow a little bit of flow and flexibility inside of it.
Yeah,
definitely. What about challenges with yourself? So you overcome your challenges, the business. Now you're back working and things like that. Has it been a challenge getting back into work, because obviously you're full-time with Cleo, and now it's kind of like you are building a bit of a more of a routine and a structure around yourself and your life. Do you feel like it's been challenging? Well, because I know you even said that at you even going back, there were some challenges to go back to work. You felt like you was selfish for working or not working, or
that's the thing. I think
guilty. I feel like
I never have experienced these emotions that I have experienced. You feel guilty when you're working, then you feel guilty when you're not working, because say if I was at home like all week with her, I might be cleaning or cooking or doing things where I'm not actually doing, like being physical with Cleo, and then you're like tired on top of that, and then you feel bad because you're like, I need to go to the gym. But I think what I've really learned is like really not having an expectation on how things should be. And also by going to therapy, I feel like I've learned that I don't need to be all these, like I don't need to compare myself to any other mother. Yeah. I need to figure out what a mother means to me and how to be my best self. Like sometimes it's hard to compare to like when you compare yourself to like a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
And then you compare to yourself to like a working mum. So it's like...
Yeah, but do you feel like that is a challenge or a struggle that you face? Because
I feel like that is a challenge.
Yeah.
But I've learned now, well, it's still hard to like not always compare yourself, but I have learned now it's finding what I think is the best for our family.
Yeah, because there's no rule book on being a mum, and everyone's going to have their own separate opinions or ways of doing things. Do you feel like getting advice from so many different people is beneficial, is not beneficial, like, or is it kind of like a double-edged sword where it's like sort of take what you want with a pinch of salt?
Yeah, I'd say it's that. Like, I would say it's definitely good to take advice, but then not judging yourself if you don't want to do it or if you do want to do it. Like I used to I remember I went through this stage. I was so busy with work, and then I tried to like home cook everything, making breaded fish fingers, and it's like she gave it to the dog. So it's like I didn't actually have the time.
And I've never got these cooked meals. Go on, sorry.
No, like, you know, why
Jack
am I
chicken and rice,
But I
Cleo
honestly...
breaded fish fingers.
No, you get the ready cooked fish fingers. No, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it's just for me now. I just do what I can in the time that I can. Like when I'm with Cleo, I try to be as present with her as I can be by like taking her out. But then when I'm working, I'm working. But where I'm struggling at the minute, where I don't have the childcare, is like being okay to just take the day off and do something for myself, whether it's go to the gym, get my nails done, or you know, like, and feeling not guilty for that.
Yeah, and how does it feel like not being on top as your business as you like? Because I know sometimes you're struggling with, I'm not posting the content, I need to do this, I need to do that, but finding the time to do so. Because look, there's going to be some people that have got nursery every single day and they're able to work, but they might be getting paid by their work, you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's also some people that maybe not can afford nursery and they've got to do that job, and they may be going through that same stresses where they're not on top of all of their work and stuff because they're looking after the baby. How have you found that, like, or managing that? Do you feel like it's been hard?
Yeah, I do think it's been hard because where, like I said, I'm that typical perfectionist. Like, I want my business to be up here, but I can't do that. Like, I used to spend 2 days planning content and then making content and putting it out there. It's like when I work 2 days now, that's like physically with clients or teaching. So I'd need another 2 days to do the content. So I feel like now I'm really trying to find a way of just doing my best at this stage, because there's going to be a point where Cleo goes to school and I have more time. I probably can give my business more time, you know?
Yeah, do you feel like there's ways to look at it? Like you're going through like almost a season where it's just going to be a little bit like this and then it will change a little bit further down the line?
Yeah, like it's a season for me now. Like I'm grateful that I've built my business to a stage where I can work a couple of days and I'll be fully booked. Or like I could do the odd lash course and just communicate with the students after just on my phone. But
because there's also different seasons for everything, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
yeah, you can't what is it?
Like when you build your like go on, sorry. You can't sow and reap at the same time. Like when you was building your business at the beginning, that was your season for probably hard work. Same for me. The first couple of years of my business has been hard work, sacrifice. You know, we're not been going on like big holidays. I've not been going out as much, going to do this, and it's just like this is the time where you've just got to get your head down and grind, and it takes sacrifice and it takes whatever else, you know what I mean? And then like now I feel like I'm in a place where I'm still working hard, but it's not as hard as... I'm not going to say not as hard. I'm still working as hard, but it's like now I can do other things that I enjoy and take a little bit.
We could go for a coffee in the midweek.
There's a little bit more flow and flexibility with it. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you went through that stage of all of the graft and all of the hard grind. You've obviously built it to a place, and now like it may not have got to this place, but you've obviously had a daughter, and it's like now taking a little bit of a step back is okay.
Yeah. I think it's okay, but do you know what's good? I think it's because I'm having the time to sit back, and I'm not just being so like focused in the business. I feel like I'm able to take a step back and maybe think of other avenues of making money, like you know, like online things, or maybe holding like a master course, or you know, there are other ways of making money where I don't have to physically.
And I feel like you only gain that wisdom when you step back. Like me, for the last couple of weeks, for example, or even the start of this year, I've not been as, and I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I'm not like every hour under the sun just driving forward.
I know, you asked me to go for a coffee the other day.
During the day. Usually there's a no-go of any kind of stopping during the day, but I've allowed some more flow in my life, so I'm not just 100 miles, because like before I was just 100 miles an hour from the morning till night. There wasn't a minute that I give myself spare to do anything. It was just like everything. Now I feel like this year I've really given myself a little bit of a step back and a bit more flow. So so I can look at things in a different lens to make sure I'm still going forward in the right direction. And what I mean by that is just like looking at other things that I could do that I enjoy, or things that I've not been doing that I used to enjoy. Going to a coffee shop during the day and reading my book. Like I started looking at that as a waste of time, but I actually really...
because it's not making you money.
Yeah, because it's not making you money, but I actually enjoy doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I've really felt like I've loosened up on my own schedule when it comes to the weekends or whatever it might be, where I'm actually just allow myself to take a step back so I can gain a bit more wisdom, and then I'll apply it back to then getting probably not back into that how intense I was, but just working on the right things. Because I think when you're going forward all the time, sometimes you can be working on the wrong things or just running yourself into a
you're not thinking clearly.
No,
you're just like fight or flight.
You're not thinking differently either. I don't think even you're thinking differently. You're just thinking the same every single day. You're not thinking differently, and you only can think differently or gain wisdom and insights when you actually take a step back and analyze and say, what's going on here? Am I moving in the right direction? Or what are some things that I would love to do? How can I do things differently? And then apply whatever comes to you. That only comes when you take a step back.
Do you know what I like? That you give me that, that where you're very quite grounded, I need a bit of that.
Grounded doesn't mean structure? Like structure?
No, as in like you're quite grounded, like, and very routine, and things that I feel like I need a bit of you.
Yeah,
like, that's, and you give me that.
Yeah, but
and you need a bit of of me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think you're sometimes too in the clouds, and I'm a little bit too.
I'm not too in the clouds. I love my world.
No, you do love what I'm saying. Sometimes you're a bit too in the clouds, like we was talking about. It's just going to come to me, Jack, and we're doing that. I know. Whereas I am like, I am that, but it's more so. You got to do the work. You know what I mean? You got to do the work. And that's, I'm not saying that you don't do the work. I'm just saying
I know what you're saying.
Of it. But I am leaning more towards like what you're saying there. It's just being more, and this coach that I've got on board is really helping me, is that more connecting to things that I love to do and enjoy, and creating that flow and that flexibility in my life, rather than being so routine, so regimented, so strict on myself when I'm out of check, because I was so in control. I felt like I was out of control. And what I mean by that is like, I was so in control that I knew I would show up at 5 o'clock and study. But then if Cleo was crying and you needed help, it would be like, oh, you got to study. But it's like,
I feel like, you actually have changed a lot there. Like fighting against that person that's saying in your, their little person.
Yeah, you've got to do.
You've
got to do that. You have to do that. But more of the same only brings more of the same. And I feel like what got you to one place is not going to take you to the next. So it's good that you learn them lessons in the time. Like whatever got me to where I was, it worked. It got me there. But that's when I realised to take myself to that next level, something else has to change. Like
you have to like take action.
You have to take different kinds of action.
Otherwise, you're just like wishing and praying for something that's just never going to happen unless you.
Because I was saying that, right? I was saying, I want to do this or this or this. And then like I would go back into that same routine of doing the same thing. I think
was good though. Remember we went to Bath in December? And it was just us two, and we left Cleo. I feel like that was so good because we was away from home. We didn't think of like any of the home stuff we need to do, and we was just really like thinking about what we want, and we was more creative. And I think that was actually quite good for us to have a break without Cleo.
I think it's good to get away and have that,
and not feel guilty, because I think a lot of mums feel guilty of if they
dive into that. To dive into that, like I don't feel guilty. I'm good. And that's not being bad, but I feel like as parents that you need that space. You know what I mean? Like I understand not too long. You probably want to leave your child for too long, and obviously we're leaving Cleo with parents and family and everything like that. So like, what's even that like for you? Just like taking a day or two away from Cleo. How does that feel when you're doing that?
We've never really done like a long time. I don't know how that will feel, but
2 days? We've done 2 days.
I think 2 days was like the longest. Yeah. And I would do longer. It's just we haven't like had the opportunity to go anywhere. But I mean, we haven't chosen to go anywhere. But I definitely think like guilt would definitely come in. But I think when something is, you really shouldn't do something. You get a feeling inside of you where you really shouldn't. But I think like going to Bath for 2 days, like I still did feel a little bit guilty. But then like we do need a relationship outside of Cleo. We need our relationship as a family, and then I think as us two, because otherwise it's so hard to get like lost in the day-to-day life, working, looking after Cleo, maybe doing something on the weekend, that we don't actually get loads of time, just us two.
And I think it's understanding what you enjoy doing. Like before Cleo come along, me and you actually loved going away on trips or weekends away. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's and if we are, I'm sure Cleo's going to come on many of them. But I still think there's a time and place that we go have our own time and do things like that. I think that's definitely key, definitely important, for sure. And it helps, right? Because you come back and you feel more energized.
Someone come to that Dubai trip with you. Then
no. That's work and business. There's trips for me, there's trips for you, there's trips for family. Business only, that one.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but you need your time, right? And
even just time on your own.
Yeah, time on your own. And I value time on. I think it's understanding what you value and what you need. Like I value time on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once a month, I always love to have a day by myself doing whatever, and I feel like that's important just for me to take a step back from everything.
Do you know what? I think when I've had times on, like when I'm just by myself, or like even in the morning, I know you wake up earlier than me. And I'm just sitting there, I do my journaling, and I feel so grateful for like everything, even like the hot shower and stuff like that. But if Cleo wakes up at the time of my meditation, it's like I've just got to see to her, and I lose that sense of like being grateful. I know you should feel it all the time, but I think being on my own sometimes, it's a lot more heightened.
Well, it's great that everyone should give themselves at least an hour a day. So I think it's respectful to yourself to allow yourself some time each day to work on yourself, just getting your mind right, whatever it is and whatever you're doing. What are some things that you feel like really help you mentally, physically or spiritually, like some habits that you've practiced now or you have practiced that you feel like are really, really helpful?
Well, I've had to let go of like the rigid routine. So for me, you know, my first value is like spirituality. I feel like I have to have that time connecting with God every day. And I would say I need to exercise. I've also let go of that rigid routine. I was exercising every day, 6 days a week. And like now I can't. I mean, I probably could if I did it with Cleo there, but I just don't want to do that. I would rather go out and exercise. So now I have to exercise 3 times a week. I would say like eating clean is like another value of mine. Yeah.
Journaling?
Oh, yeah.
Meditation?
Journaling. I forgot to say them. Oh, God. Journaling and meditation, I would say like I actually add that into my daily habits.
What do you feel like journaling gives you? Because I know you're big into journaling. I love journaling, right? What do you feel like it gives you?
Journaling for me is just like, it's just unbelievable. Like, I feel like when I journal, not only do I journal the negative emotions I'm feeling, I journal like everything I'm like grateful for. And it's like, say if you are feeling like negative, like everything that's like in your body gets released onto this piece of paper. So I think, journaling for me is like really important.
And how does someone get into journaling? Like everyone's journaling's different, you know what I mean? You've got crazy books and stuff like that with locks on it, and this is Cathereen.
I don't have locks. That is so weird.
But how do people get journaling? Like my journaling just comes from me getting thoughts out of my mind. My journaling is just me asking myself questions every day. I look at my journaling and reviewing is the same kind of stuff. You know, what's my grateful for? Am I proud of? What are some wins I got today?
Well, I think if someone doesn't journal, it's probably a good idea to get some like journal prompts.
Yeah.
Daily questions that you could ask yourself. It wouldn't even have to be big, like not big, many questions. But for me, I do like different types of journaling. I journal when I am need to be thankful for things. So I start maybe doing a list of 10 things I'm grateful for. I would also say, then there's the journaling when you like write down all your feelings. So don't read my journals. And then there's the journaling where it could be like manifesting and fun. You know what I do there?
Yeah, tell me a bit more about that.
I mean, it's so cheap.
Because I don't do that. I don't do it in the journaling stuff. Oh, I do and I don't. I would say my manifestation comes from me repeating my purpose statement. Like when I say my purpose statement, it's like I am X,
Okay,
and
so-
I'm talking about who I want to be in the future, how I see myself, what I want to achieve, and that's my kind of like affirmation, incantation, or my journaling based upon like where I want to go and who I want to be. You know what I mean?
So if I was to do like the manifesting journaling that I do, I'll just be really random. I might say what a day could look like. So I could be, say if we wanted to go on holiday, it'd be like, today I'm so excited. I've got my suitcase packed and we're traveling to Barbados first class at, so you make it like that. I always put like feeling into it because the feeling makes it more real.
See, I've never done it like that. So how are you writing this? So you just, is it prompts or you just starting off?
You said that like I'm a bit in the clouds.
Yeah, I know.
This is where it's good. You know?
But you're putting it out there, which I understand, and I'm putting it out there when I'm speaking it into existence. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
So have you got something that's prompting you to say, I'm having this day, or do you just say, oh, today, like, how does that work?
So
does that make sense?
For example,
like I would say in the morning or right at the end of the day, like how my day actually went. Are you getting to the end of the day and like saying how you wish your day went, or are you just like saying how you want your day to go? Does that make sense?
Okay, so say if I close my eyes, today is the day that I'm flying to.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would act as if it's happening now. So like when we wanted to move, we wanted the new house. I would say, today we've woken up in our new home. Jack's making a coffee downstairs. We've got so much natural light. Cleo's got her own room. The dog's barking in our massive garden.
Oh, so that's why fucking Ty's barking every day.
So
that's why Ty's going nuts every day, because you put it out there.
Yeah, I can't tell you the things I've put out there.
I've not done it like that before. I've not written it I've written it as like an I am statement, and I read it to myself like an I am statement, but I don't write it in terms of how you do so. But I know a lot of it's come true. Was I on the original manifestation before?
Jack, I'm not that cool. You come after me. I did not chase you.
Yeah, but that's the side of me that takes action. I'll hardly admit that. I
wasn't sitting there wishing,
once I get something in my mind, I don't just sit there and kumbaya it. I think about it.
No, you was a weirdo. You come to my yoga class.
And I go take action. Because when you want things in life, you go out and get them. And that's exactly what I do. I set a goal and I go, right, how can I go get that goal? And I take action.
Yeah.
I didn't put you in my notepad, but I want to pursue it and go ahead.
You weirdo.
What's some other? So you do journaling, your exercise, and things like that. Is there anything else that you would recommend someone do, even if they're stressful every single day, or like they want to try something but they're not too sure, or anything that's helped you as a mother, or just as a woman that you feel like helps you on a daily basis outside of what we spoke about?
I would just say, like, do you know what? The first thing I would want to say, like, even though I know I meditate and I journal and I do all of these things, if the day isn't like that, from the moment you wake up, the baby's screaming and she's not well, just not having pressure to like on yourself to do all of these things. Because what kept happening, I think I wanted to journal and I wanted to meditate because I know those things make me feel good and I need to do them. But I think it can have the opposite effect when you're not just being in flow with life. Because with a child, you just don't know when. Well, you know what Cleo's like. 1 minute she's waking up at 6, next minute she's up at 5. Some nights she sleeps through, some nights she doesn't. And I think as a mum, it's quite hard to put a lot of pressure on yourself to, do everything. So I think if you could do one thing, just say that's a good day. So for me, if I've meditated, that's a good day. If I have journaled but I've not exercised, that's a good day.
Do you feel like it's the expectations and the pressure of trying to be up here, and them needs not getting met all of the time would make you feel like you're potentially not doing good enough or not feeling good enough, or you should be doing more?
Well, yeah, because also, like, then we've got social media as well. Like, you see what everyone else is doing, but obviously not everyone's posting everything. So I think naturally it's very easy to compare and think that you're not doing good enough. But I think if you sit with yourself, you'll know if you're doing good enough, you know?
What's one piece of advice you would give to yourself who's just had a baby?
Yeah.
And now you've learned all these lessons, you know, Cleo's, 13 coming on 14 months.
Yeah.
What one piece of advice do you wish that you had when you just become a new mum?
Do you know what I think? I think for me, I wish I was just a bit nicer to myself. And just realising, like, I have gone through this massive change, not only, like, learning to look after a child, but also, like, looking after myself. Yeah.
And what does that come in the form of being nice to yourself? Does it come, there's different forms, right? A nice to yourself is doing something for yourself. Is it actually just
it's just
being grateful for yourself? Is it just saying, like, it's okay, taking pressure off yourself?
Being grateful for yourself, and also, like, not comparing yourself. I think the comparison thing is, like, honestly, like, the worst thing, because everyone has such different lives. So I think I did compare myself a lot. I'd compare myself to stay-at-home mums. I'd compare myself to mums that have got, like, loads of children and a business, because then I think, how do they do it? And I'm really struggling, you know? So I think if I were to give advice to another mum who would be in my situation, I would just say, like, try not to compare and just check in with yourself every day and say, maybe do a list of 10 things that you're proud of yourself for.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's key. Because I think the comparison thing is going to make anyone feel like they're not doing good enough. And I feel like anything that you do, whether it's being a new mum, like being a dad or anything, it's like if you take advice from too many people that they feel like you should be doing, or how things should happen, or you shouldn't be doing that, could be doing that, would be doing that, it's like you're never going to feel good in yourself. And I think it's just like figuring it out for yourself and doing what you feel like is
as
right.
As a family. And I think, you know, we communicate with each other and we understand what we both value and what we both want. I think that also helps. Because
I feel like there's been things that have maybe been said to me, how you should be doing things, or how you should be a dad, and all this. Like, no one knows how to be a dad or a mum. Like, and there's no right or wrong, and everyone's in different situations, got different jobs, got different relationships, got even different partners. And what I mean by that is, like, at the start I was still getting up, going to the gym, doing all of these things. And, like, yes, some of it may have pissed you off at some points, but you was also happy that I'd done that for myself.
Well, the thing is, I know what you're like.
Yeah.
And you were like that from the moment I met you. If you didn't do your things, oh, no, you just no. I would rather you. You know?
Yeah, but then there could be, that's what I'm saying.
But I know it's good, but, like, I feel like you know that about me now. You know, if I'm not doing my things that I value, that I'm not that happy.
Yeah, no, it's good, but it's good to know, because if your partner knows you, then she knows the things that you want, or that you want to do for yourself, and it's good that potentially that you would want me to do the things for myself. Well, that's why I think it's all different, because some people have partners that they don't want their boyfriend to do this, or they don't want their missus to go and do whatever, you know what I mean? So I think it's just figuring it all out, both together and as a family, what's really gonna. And even my advice now, I'm not an expert at it. Do you know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure.
We're still trying to figure
it all out. And I think
it's still forever be figuring it.
And I think you'll forever be figuring yourself out. You know what I mean? So I think one of the things I think you lovely said there is taking that pressure off yourself, and that's one of the things that I try to do with myself or with my clients. Speak to a lot of my clients. It's very like, no one feels proud of themselves. No one's patting themselves on the back. No one's praising themselves. No one is like recognizing themselves for anything good that they've done.
Do you know what? I think we spend a lot of time wanting the next thing.
Like,
I feel like that lately with me, like, what am I going to do with my business? Where am I going to take it? You know, and I think very rarely we sit there and think, do you know what? We're actually doing okay, and we have everything we need.
Or anything that we once wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to be fair, actually, I feel like we probably prayed to have, like,
well, you put it in your journal. So you definitely pray for it. But I mean, just it's always focusing on what's missing. You know what I mean? What's not in my life right now? Because everyone's focusing on what's missing. They're never going to feel happy or and I'm not going to say content. I think I like the word content, but not staying content. I always want more. But I'm also realigning myself to be grateful and focused on the things that I've currently got in my life, because I know at one stage I always wanted these, or I always wanted to be in this position. But I think that only comes from from giving sitting with yourself, which I've been doing loads recently, meditating, giving myself praise, gratitude, writing down like what am I grateful for every day, what am I proud of is a one that I've been adding in so much lately, and a lot of my clients I'm getting them to do too, just like writing down at the end of the day 3 things I'm proud of, because everyone's pushing forward, progressing and hitting that goal, hitting that milestone, and then what's next? And like, oh, it doesn't matter.
It's always what's next,
What's next, or that thing doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's like, it does matter. Reward yourself for it. Praise yourself. Not only reward like go off the rails. I mean reward as in like pat yourself on the back for it, and then build that better relationship with yourself. And then you're going to be more excited and want to go do the next thing without feeling dissatisfied all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that's definitely something that I've been working on and diving into too. And I love one more final question. What does becoming the best you mean to you?
Let me just sit with that 1 second. So I feel like it's doing the things that I value. So like one of my top values is like spirituality. It is family. I think when I have these two, I feel like I'm my best self. But it really, I do need to spend a lot of time, not a lot of time actually, because I can't with a baby, but I need to spend some time on my own to feel truly grateful. And I think, doing these practices for me makes me my best self.
Love that.
And not just for like myself, because if I'm my best self, everyone else is happy.
Yeah, and that's what's important. And that's what I try and make a lot of people realise too. And that's what I try to do. If I am becoming my best self, if I am being my best self, if I'm working on being my best self, I'm going to then be better for everyone else around me.
Yeah.
And that's why I do feel like you should be at the top of the priority list, and then everyone else will get the best.